Almost everyone is on edge about load shedding, and there have been repeated calls to cut down on the consumption of electricity. So we thought we'd take the bull by the horns this week and look at how to cut down our electricity consumption by getting the buildings we live and work in a little leaner and greener. This week we're broadcasting from the Green Building Council SA, a non-profit company that's trying to help South Africa's commercial property sector go green. Manfred, why is it important for us to move into a greener era, especially in a country like South Africa with an energy crisis looming?
The simplest way to maybe explain how this can impact us and what it means to us for every person on the street is if you just take something as simple as your water supply or your energy supply into your home and what you use that for every day. And it impacts us, but yet often maybe we don't realize how much we consume and how much it costs us. And in South Africa's sort of current situation, it's almost a survival mode that we're forced into this in the current state, that it's gonna mean that we can kind of live well or live uncomfortably.
What sort of technology would help a building become green?
So technology can play a really important part of this, and it doesn't always have to cost a lot of money. Just take, for example, advancement in lighting. Quite a simple technological advancement, but going from a very energy efficient form of lighting with the old form of light bulbs to going through to compact fluorescents and going through to LEDs. Technology is going to play a significant role in this and not necessarily always at a cost.
Around 1 in 3 tons of harmful CO2 gas is generated by buildings, but green building practices can turn that around. South Africa is one of 95 members of the World Green Building Council. In order to standardize the criteria by which green buildings are judged, the Green Star SA rating has been developed. So what would one need to do in order to obtain the Green Star rating?
The first step would be register the project as a project that wants to go through the process, and then with that comes a whole bunch of information, and then that project then goes through a process of assembling information around what's involved, what they've done in the design, and then that comes to us in the form of a submission, a digital submission, and then that digital submission gets evaluated by our independent assessors that are in industry, and then they give us their feedback, and we go through 2 rounds of that with the project, and then give the project their final result, and that's typically 4, 5 or 6 star, the rating.
Are there any recent buildings that have been awarded this status?
The one corporate is the #1 silo project at the V&A, and then the other project is a project in Pretoria developed by the Department of Environmental Affairs, which also achieves a 6-star rating.
A green building incorporates design, construction, and operational practices that significantly reduce the impact on the environment and people. Green buildings are energy and resource efficient and environmentally responsible. Environmentally sustainable buildings, rain harvesting, and off-the-grid innovations are the key words. A lot of people think of going green as a very expensive exercise, but do you have any inexpensive and practical tips for schools, businesses, or homes that want to go green?
From a school's perspective, we certainly would encourage and can provide some information, and our website has got a lot of that information on it, and the same principles apply to residential that apply to schools, things like lighting, hot water. The same principles apply, and the key is that a school is a great opportunity to change mindsets. For example, in a classroom, you can change from one form of lighting to another and demonstrate that to the children whilst at the same time saving money for the school.
According to the findings of the GBCSA, the ergonomic designs of green buildings have been shown to promote wellness, healing, and productivity.
Yeah, so green building is not just about the technical and the hard parts, sort of the building itself. It has a lot to do with people being inside those buildings and how healthy and comfortable and productive those people are. There's many studies, and in schools and hospitals in particular, there's a lot of really good studies that have been done. For example, asthma can be a large problem in many schools and has been, and there's been some good studies done on how changing an air conditioning system in a school has changed that, and so some really good examples of well-being and health in green buildings.
How far would you say South Africa has come with its green building revolution, and do you see many more green buildings in the future?
Green buildings in South Africa there's huge potential. I think we're only just beginning to see some of that potential, but there's some really great case studies starting to emerge and examples of what's possible. Some homeowners going completely off the grid from a water and a electricity perspective, and also from a commercial property perspective. The key, I think, is technology kind of needing to become cheaper. So yeah, we kind of only at a very early stage, but there's a lot of potential.
We can't stop load shedding from happening, but with every green building that goes up, the burden on the grid will lessen, meaning there's less of a chance of you being plunged into darkness on the night of that crucial Game of Thrones premiere.